So, should you run a suppressor on your home defense gun? I strongly believe that answer is yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so before I begin, let me know if your home defense firearm has a suppressor on it, if you plan on getting a suppressor, or if you don't have a suppressor, and why. Okay, so the first reason that I believe that everyone should have a suppressor on their home defense firearm is shooting is loud. Whether it's indoors or outdoors, shooting a firearm is loud. Everybody knows this. And then if you don't believe me that shooting indoors is loud, go to a local firearm range, or one that is indoors, take off ear protection and shoot a mag. Shoot a couple rounds and just tell me how that experience is. It's gonna be very loud, it's gonna be disorienting, and it's gonna be a terrible experience. That is why you should, if you can, have one of these on your firearm just to make it a little bit easier and give you a little bit more of a tactical edge if there was a very stressful situation. Yes, I'm also aware that one of the reasons people don't want a suppressor for home defense is because they want that concussive blast coming out of the barrel to be disorienting at whatever target they have. You also have to remember that it will also be disorienting for you as well. Like I said, you don't believe me, go to an indoor range, take your ear protection off and shoot a couple rounds and tell me how it is. And that will give you a tactical disadvantage in a high stress situation. And I personally believe if anything for your firearm for any given purpose gives you a disadvantage, it should be corrected. You want to give yourself as many advantages as you can, that way if something were to happen, you have the overall greatest chance for a positive outcome in your eyes. Okay, so the second reason I believe you would want to run suppress for your home defense firearm is going to be flash suppression. We're all aware that when shooting out of the muzzle of one of these guys here, you're going to have a loud, aggressive, and quick fireball. As those gases leave and the propellant pushes that round out, the rest of the propellant that is burned through the barrel is going to come out of there. You're going to have a loud sound that's going to be terrible in the middle of the night. It's going to be bright, it's going to be aggressive, it's going to be fast. It will most likely concuss whatever you're having to defend your home against to some degree, as well as you yourself as the shooter. And that is not something that you necessarily want. Yes, the concussion against them would be helpful, but you don't want that against yourself to negatively impact you. Like I had said before, if you don't believe me, go to an indoor range, take your ear protection off, shoot a couple rounds, and tell me how you feel after that. You're gonna feel terrible. And not only that, imagine it's the middle of the night, you just got woken up by some emergency that just kicked in your front door, your dogs are barking, everyone's screaming and scared, you don't know what's going on, and you are adding that element into the whole mix of everything going on. Also, with these, as the fire leaves, just ignore the sound for a second, that big fireball, whether you're next to picture frames, TV, wall, curtains, whatever it may be, you don't want that fire coming out and just burning whatever you have. You don't want a bunch of burn marks on the wall, you don't want to touch your TV, you don't want to get your curtains on fire. Whatever it may be, that's one less stressful thing that you just should try to mitigate. You should try to give yourself as many tactical advantages as you can when it comes to defending yourself and your family's lives. Okay, so the third reason I believe you should run suppress for home defense is actually a bit more of a courtesy than a tactical advantage, such as the other ones that I talked about. If you're like me and you live with others, whether it's wife, kids, dogs, cats, whatever it may be, you want to bring their hearing as well as yours into account. Nobody should be going deaf because you want to be a bit of a tough guy and not have to run a suppressor. Or you just didn't want to pay for it. You didn't want to deal with it. You didn't want to deal with the tax stamp. You should, in my opinion, bring into account the courtesy of other people's hearings and the overall high stress situation that might happen. Someone kicks in your door, the alarm's going off, and your kids are sitting upstairs scared of what's going on, and they hear a very loud bang, bang, bang. That's gonna not only scare them more, but it's gonna add more trauma to the overall experience that they have. That's why I believe, at least as a parent, if you can remove that loud volume or loud sound effect that they're going to have, it might help the overall situation not be as traumatic for those that experience it. That's why I believe if you're able to remove that loud sound from the overall event, it might help a little bit with some of the trauma and overall experience that they have. Yes, I know that's something not a lot of people talk about when it comes to running suppress, because it's really, do you want to be quiet or do you want to be loud? But it is a factor that you should bring in. Are you going to permanently damage your hearing, your family's hearing, your pet's hearing? This is something that you really should think about when using a firearm. A home invasion is already a highly stressful, traumatic event for those involved. there's no need to add hearing damage to it as well.